Sup to Scampi.
Welcome back to the Scampi Melon channel. Today we've got some football content for you where I'm going to be doing my Euro 2020 predictions live and unedited. Here we go. We're going to go in group order. Group A, we've got Switzerland, who have won their last 6 matches. They're looking confident and look like they're good at grinding out matches as well. They need their striker Vranovic to turn up and they could pull off some results, and he's probably my selection for their key player to watch. But yeah, they're looking good. Turkey struggled against defensive minded teams recently, and we'll be interested to see if they'll be a tough game for everybody. I don't know their squad that well to be able to make their prediction. I know they've got I think it's Yilmaz, their striker, is probably going to be the key player for them. Could be Sayonchu and needs to play a big part. But yeah, they'll be a difficult team. Wales will be a tough one. That'll be a tough one for sure. Many want them to succeed, but I personally can't see them doing too well this tournament. They're going to really need Gareth Bale to turn up to be a bit of a game changer. Italy are in the form of their lives. Haven't lost in ages. I think whenever I checked, it was like over 10 matches since they last actually lost in internationals. I think they're going to keep a clean sheet in the group stage, get a lot of confidence going in. And even the strikers, the key player for me is probably going to be Immobile. I reckon they'll finish top of the group, followed by Switzerland probably. Turkey and then Wales. Yeah, I don't think Wales will have a good time. Especially I think with a lot of the drama surrounding round gigs at the moment. I just think they're going to lose a bit of focus. I hope I'm wrong there. I hope they finish third and get through. But yeah, definitely Italy will go through for sure in my opinion. Group B, Russia only wins in the past 5 against very weak opponents. Yeah, they're not the squad they used to be. They used to have an absolutely killer squad. I know they've done well in the last tournament, but do I see them replicating it here at the moment? Haven't looked at the squad, no, but they could be in for a shock. Yeah, Belgium, the underdog, in terms of teams to win that I think could, in my opinion. They've performed well in the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers recently as well. They've got a very strong squad, probably the strongest in that group. And their key player Lukaku, if he hits any form in the group stage, I think they'll probably do very well. Denmark, always a difficult team, very well disciplined team, and have done quite well in the Nations League and World Cup qualifiers as well. Very hard team to score against. The basis is built up in their midfield, the likes of Højbjerg, especially in my opinion, who I think he's going to be their key player. If he dominates that midfield like he did, especially in the early days of Southampton games, I think he can drag them through. Because they've got a decent defense, they've got a decent attack. They just need that midfield to stay strong. And yeah, I think they'll probably do well, to be honest. Finland, poor form in the build up to this competition, poor results. Nobody in there that I think is properly game changing quality. Yeah, there's not really much I can say on them. Pookie's probably their key player for me. He needs to take his chances whenever they come. If he doesn't perform, then I don't see them being able to grind out results, which is why I'm probably going to go for Belgium, Denmark, Russia, and then Finland. It could be Denmark and Russia the other way about. But that's how I see it playing out. I see Finland getting beat by all 3. I see Belgium beating both Denmark and Russia. I just don't know how Russia-Denmark's going to go. Moving on to Group C. Austria have a chance to do quite well in this tournament. I think people are going to underestimate them in terms of how far they'll go. I think in this group, it wouldn't shock me if they came out on top. Especially with Holland missing or Netherlands missing Virgil van Dijk. It could be Austria's time to pounce on that. It's not as strong as a group as it would have been if VVD was there. And in their game against what is essentially England's B team, they made them grind out results. I know a lot of people are saying that they didn't really get tested through set pieces, but I still think they're a strong squad that could do wonders. If Sabitzer, who I think is a key player, if he plays a good game, then their possession game could go in their favor. North Macedonia, I don't know them well enough at all, to be honest. Yeah, they just ain't gonna do well. Don't let the recent game against Germany fool you. I think they've done well to get here. Don't get me wrong. I don't even know who their key player is, to be perfectly honest. They might surprise me. Ukraine not won any matches in their last 7. Can't see how they're going to change that other than maybe a win against Macedonia. Yeah, they're gonna have to pull a performance out of somewhere to beat either Austria or Netherlands. They could go for a high scoring game against Macedonia, try and get through that way, but I personally don't see that happening. Yarmolenko from West Ham is probably the most dangerous player and probably the key player for me. If he turns up, they can do some damage to Macedonia and probably get through in the 3rd place. Holland, I genuinely, if they had VVD, I think this team could have potentially reached the final and maybe even won the thing. But without him, I think it's a huge loss. His replacements are good, but not good enough to carry that defense through against strong teams. I think they'll finish this group top. I don't know who the key player is. Like, I think you could probably argue it's Wijnaldum. With the way that they tend to play, of possession based, they need a good solid defensive mid and good passing, which I think is what he brings and kind of ties the team together. If he doesn't perform well, then maybe they might crack a little. Don't be surprised if Van de Beek plays a big part for them. He suits their system to a T. He plays a role that he should be playing for United, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's a key player, but he's definitely one to look out for. And saying that, I think Netherlands 1st, Austria 2nd, Ukraine 3rd, and Macedonia 4th. Group D, this is an interesting one. So now you've got Scotland. This is a team that really wants to perform. Like, they're my Celtic cousins, essentially. I can feel a similar vibe off them that whenever Ireland goes to European competitions, and that the passion's there, and you can't disregard passion as a metric in judging a team, because look at Croatia, a team that have gone a lot further than their team's ability kind of would imply they should go in previous competitions. And that's through passion, it's through wanting to grind out results and do well. Especially think Scotland want to spoil England's party. I think they really want a result, even if it's just a 1-0 or even a 1-1. They want to try and spoil England's time. And I think they might do it. I think their key player, probably most informed player at the moment, is Scott McTominay. If he does a similar job for Scotland as he does for Man United, and whenever he's in form, I think Scotland could disrupt England's style of play, and give them a really good game. That's going to be in the group stage. I think that will be the game to watch, potentially. It'll either be an absolute slobber knocker of a game, or England will batter them. It'll be one or the other. But yeah, don't overlook Scotland. I think they really want this. England, yeah, I can't get over how defensive their selection is. I know Gareth Southgate's a very defensive coach, and don't get me wrong, but yeah, the original team selection really surprised me, especially I know before he got injured, the 4 right backs. But to me, it says they're probably going to play 5 at the back, play possession-based football, which really shocks me considering they've got so many creative attacking players that I just feel aren't going to get utilised as much. Yeah, I think From what I've seen, I think Gareth Southgate's got it wrong. He could surprise me and stick four at the back, and play more creatively. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. I just don't see any. Yeah, I just don't see any way of England winning the Euros. Let's see how it goes. Although maybe I'm just a bit hurt from Lingard not making the original squad. But I think they're strong enough to probably go through top of this group. I think they'll beat Croatia and Czech Republic and finish first. I think Croatia will beat Czech Republic and Scotland. I think Scotland will beat England. And I think Czech Republic might beat Scotland. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'll stick with that. For now, my bias might be coming through there for Scotland, but I do think that they'll beat England. I think it'll be a 1-0. They might grind out a draw against Czech Republic, and that's kind of what I'm banking on here. So yeah, we'll see, because I think Czech Republic could get beat by Croatia and England. That's just my opinion. Especially as Czech Republic have. So with Croatia, you can argue they've got the same quality of squad that knocked England out. With the World Cup. But yeah, they're again similar to Scotland, very passionate squad, very tight-knit squad. Can't see them being ruffled. You've still got their key player Modric, and if he turns up like he has in previous tournaments, then it'll be a very, very difficult squad to beat. Yeah. With Czech Republic, again, mixed results, mixed ability squad, no real game changers. Nobody really stands out for me other than Souček, but he can stop them conceding goals, but I don't think he brings enough to their attack to be able to say that he can get the results that they need to go through. He'll make it difficult for England, Croatia, and Scotland, but again, he can only do so much. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that unfolds. With Group E, we've got Russia, who've only won 2 in their last 5. Very leaky defense, in my opinion. Did I say Russia? Spain, Sweden, Slovakia. I meant Poland. Jeez, absolute. So on to Group E. We've got Poland, who have had some poor results recently against the likes of England, Italy, Netherlands. I think they drew with Russia recently as well. Yeah, they seem to be really struggling against big sides. But seem to be beating teams with weak defenses. Lewandowski showing his ability there, but he can only do so much for this Poland squad. So I think they'll probably struggle this tournament. Yeah, I can see them getting beat by all by the rest of the teams in the group, to be honest. Spain, very good form in the run up to this tournament, other than the Portugal game, but it seemed a bit of a write-off. Neither team, in my opinion, really going for it. I think they were kind of wary of injury concerns coming off of it. Yeah, strong squad that can do damage to anyone. If they find some scoring form with their key player Morata up front, I think there isn't a team that they can't beat, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, the one thing that shocked me with Spain was that they're only taking 24 men in the team. I think that's a mistake on the coach's part. But, you know, they can still do it, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. And that'll probably come out top of this group, in my opinion. Next on, we've got Sweden, who run of results recently, 4 wins in a row. Only loss was against France, who are the favourites for this tournament coming up. I think there could be a surprise team in the tournament. I think they've got a very strong team dynamic going on in the recent matches. And they could probably pull off some surprise results if given the opportunities. Quaison, who's probably the keeper for me, his run of form for both club and country has been absolute quality, and could give Sweden is shy of having a very respectable European run this year. Next, we've got Slovakia. Mixed bag of results, to be honest. They're a country that are probably hard to predict. They seem to give a challenge to anybody that they come up against. They don't leak goals that easily, usually. So they could be a team to watch. Skriniar, for sure, is probably the key player for me. If he performs well and keeps the defense organized and solid, you know, they could scrape results against any team, to be honest. So my prediction for the group would probably be Spain first, Sweden second, Slovakia third, Poland fourth. Slovakia and Poland could swap around if Lewandowski has something to say about it. Be definitely that'll be a very interesting group to watch. I don't think there's a bad match in that group at all. Be exciting to watch. So Group F, we've got Portugal, and it may be the Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo lover inside of me, and Nani as well, even. That I just think that they're going to turn up for this tournament. I really do, because part of me thinks this is going to be Ronaldo's last ever European tournament. I think he'll really want it. I think Bruno, with being in the form of his life, is going to want to turn up. They've got Premier League Player of the Season Ruben Diaz in the defense. Bernardo Silva, I believe, is in the squad. He's looking very good. Pinchao looking very good. Yeah, people seem to be overlooking Portugal, and I can't see why. I think they're who I'm personally going to be slapping a bet on to win the overall thing, because I just think that with the likes of Jota, with the likes of Ronaldo, João Felix, and Bruno sat behind them, there's goals in there. There is goals. Such a solid defense too, and that's just a great midfield. Yeah, I think they're a very, very strong team, and this is the group of death by far. Because you've got then France, who are the favourites, and for absolutely good reason. That squad is insane. Some of the world's best players aren't even getting a sniff in of making the France squad. You know, they're looking really strong. Their run of form, immense. Mbappe's want to go out there and prove a point. Like, he really wants to try and show that even though he plays for PSG, who a lot of people see as a strong team in a weak league, he didn't perform the best in League One this year, and he's going to want to come out and perform, especially with the players he's got around him. It's the best opportunity he's got to rise and shine, to be perfectly honest. There's a determination you feel from that France squad to want to win this. So yeah, they're definitely favourites for a reason. Germany, I think they've got hard done by being put in this group, to be honest. But they have a strong squad going into it. They could easily beat Portugal and France if all their players turn up on the day. And yeah, God, you feel sorry for Hungary. That's all I'm saying. The key player for me is probably Werner. You watched him in the Champions League final, and his movement was the best you'll ever see. If you're trying to teach an up-and-coming striker about movement on the pitch, you show them footage of Werner. You absolutely do. And if he can start bringing back his finishing form that people have known from his days in the Bundesliga, and previously for Germany, he's turned up in a few matches, then you know you can't just knock off Germany as guaranteed thirds in this group. You know, and a lot of people are putting them in second over Portugal, which I think is probably wrong to do immediately anyway. But yeah, to be honest, you could put Portugal, France, Germany in any order, and you just wouldn't be overly surprised. But for me, it's going to be, I think France will beat Portugal in the group stage. I think Portugal will beat Germany and Hungary. I think Germany will only beat Hungary. But I'll probably be proven wrong with that, to be honest. But yeah, sorry, I didn't even explain about Hungary. Yeah, like I said, I feel really bad for them. They have a huge mountain to climb to even scrape into third. They'll have to play the best football they've ever played to get into third place. They're going to be hoping for draws. Like, well, obviously hoping for wins, but I think if they're going to try and escape, it'll be through draws against Germany, possibly Portugal. Um, I kind of want to be proven wrong because I think it'd be really interesting if Hungary were to throw imbalance in the group. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. I think their goalkeeper Bogdan's probably gonna have to be the player that turns up. If they're gonna have a chance, he's gonna have the tourney of his life. But yeah, I hope they put up a fight. I hope they put up a fight. It'd be very interesting if they do. Throw some spanner in the works in that group. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, to predict the 4 best third place teams. So, who do I think's gonna get? It's a difficult one. I think Germany are gonna struggle. But the only thing that's going to get them through, I think, is the fact that they're probably going to batter Hungary, and I think they're going to have to batter Hungary. I think I don't know if Turkey make it through because I just think there's going to be a lot of mixed results in that group against. I think the only guarantee is that Italy are going to beat all 3 of them, in my opinion. So I actually think they're not going to go through, and I don't think Russia are going to go through either. So I'm going to go with Ukraine, Scotland, Slovakia. Oh, Slovakia. Do go with Slovakia or do it go with Turkey? Slovakia or Turkey? Oh, it's really difficult. Like, honestly, this is the bit that nobody's going to get spot on, I think, because there's just so many variables in it. Like, you'd love to see another 2 groups so that you just pick the top 2 that go through. I hate the best place third teams because it's such a lottery. Yeah, screw it. Let's go with Turkey. Why not? Round of 16, Belgium, Germany, both. Oh, that's gonna be, if that happens, that's a game and a half. That is a game and a half. It's gonna happen. But I really like the look of Belgium this year. They're that team that everybody's like, oh, they could. This is the year they're gonna have that run, and it never seems to happen. Yeah, I really like the look of them. If KDB's injury free and is feeling good for it, I think they go through. That's gonna be a clinker of a game if it happens though. Italy, Austria. Although I think Austria have a really strong squad, I just think Italy for me look fantastic going into this Euros. I think a few people are sleeping on them to get as far as I think they will anyway. France, Turkey, France all day, every day. I think that France squad, very hard to beat. And there's only 1, maybe 2 teams I think could beat them. Croatia, Sweden. I think Sweden are going to take that. You know, I just like the look of Sweden this year. I really do. I think the recent run of results show that they're a really good team dynamic going into this. I think they'll do some damage to teams. Spain, Ukraine, Spain. Their form, the strength of their squad, the strength and depth. Even if they were to pick up 1 or 2 injuries in the group stage, they still have a strong enough squad that could beat a lot of teams. England, Portugal. This is where I'm going to get a lot of hate. I think Portugal could break that England team if they play 5 at the back. They're the strength up front for Portugal. If you give them a possession game, Portugal will do damage. They have a lot of players that can break through teams and do it for fun at their club. That much creativity. I think England will really struggle to withstand. So yeah, I think Portugal are knock out England. If England go for the creative game, it's a strong Portugal defense, especially as Diaz and Cancelo have that connection already. I think they'll be as a partnership between right back and centre back will be very strong. I think Ruben Diaz can handle pretty much any player in the England squad and has proven it with how he's done for Man City this year. Yeah, it's gonna be a quality game though. Netherlands, Scotland. Netherlands are taking that. I think Scotland will give them a difficult game, but I think at the end of the day, I think Netherlands will probably take that, probably 2-0. Yeah, I feel bad for Scotland because I'd quite like to see them go further, but I just don't see it happening. Switzerland, Denmark. That'd actually be an interesting game, you know, if this comes to light. probably go with Denmark, to be honest. I'm just saying that. I just think Denmark have a strong squad, stronger than Switzerland's in my opinion. But if that comes, I think that'll be a very good game. Quarterfinals, Belgium, Italy. I've said it before. Italy probably the best form out of any squad going into the Euros. And I think there's only two teams that could possibly beat them, in my opinion, and they'll probably be they'll probably concede the least amount of goals than any team in this competition. The only thing that I'm quite wary of is that it's a fairly older squad compared to a lot of other ones, so they're going into quarterfinal, semi-final stages probably where you'll start seeing mistakes. But I think there's enough quality in it to bring them to a far distance. France, Sweden. I think Sweden's going to give them a real game. I really hope this match happens. I'd love to see France, Sweden happen anywhere, because I think Sweden will be a different opposition compared to a lot of other teams that try to come up against France. I don't think they'll try and nick a winner last minute to beat them. I think Sweden will give them a really, really good game. But I do think France's quality will shine through and they'll beat them. Spain, Portugal. This is a game everybody wants to see happen. I think it could possibly be a game of the tournament. I don't know. We just had the friendly that people will say just proves that theory, but I think if it happens at any stage in the Euros, what it'll mean to both of them to knock the other out will be too much. But I back Portugal to do it this time. I just think there's so much quality throughout that pitch compared to Spain. I don't think Spain will be able to outscore every opponent compared to Portugal. So I'm going for them. But Spain could set up very defensively and scrape a 1-0 victory either, which they've got in their arsenal if they really want to. But I think that'll be a terrific game of football. Netherlands, Denmark. Netherlands just have too much quality in that squad, in my opinion, compared to Denmark to not go through. I'd love to see Netherlands make the semis, especially with VVD not there. I'd love to see them kind of still get a good run of form and get some confidence going into the World Cup the following year. Semi-finals time. Italy, France. I think I've got to go France for this one. I think I'll be fantastic game of football. Two very informed teams going into the Euros, and yeah, I just think France has so much quality in their squad compared to Italy that I think they'll beat them. Portugal, Netherlands. Portugal again. I just think Portugal have the better squad. I'm nearly certain this is going to be the final. The rest of the teams you can swap between them throughout, but I think France Portugal is the final we are going to see. I don't think Portugal will come third in that group, so potentially meet them in the semis instead. And where everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you're just a Bruno fanboy," because I kind of am. But I think Portugal's going to beat France. I think they're going to lose to them in the group stage. Don't get me wrong, but I think in the final, I think once again Portugal will overcome them. I think it'll be. A part of me kind of hopes it's a better final than 2016, which was a good match, but I felt it didn't show off the qualities that both squads had in terms of attacking. I think it'll be a better match this time. I think we're in for a hell of a tournament. I'm also going to say for the third place playoff, I think there's a third place playoff in the Euro 2020. I think Italy's going to take that over Netherlands, assuming they both go for it. So yeah, that's my prediction. I think Golden Boot's probably going to go to. I'm going to go on a bit of a wild one and say that I think Jota might get it. I think if he's fit and he pulls up, I think he could bring something really special to that squad, and I think he just pick off chances if he gets them. I think player of the tournament for me. Ooh. Said Bruno, which is hit me. But yeah, I think we'll go. I think we'll go for Bruno, for player of the tournament. And I think the one that's probably gonna be underrated. Oh, who do I think will actually go underrated under the radar? Probably someone from the Swedish team. I think we're probably I think somebody. I think a lot of the Swedish players are gonna get watched and potentially picked up over the summer. Who did I have as their player at the tourney? Oh, Quaison. Potentially, he could be looked at by a few teams. If he has a good tournament, as I think he will, I think he might have a few eyes on him. But yeah, that's my prediction for Euro 2020. And I'm really looking forward to a summer of football. I think there would be some amazing matches. With this format and some of the group draws, I think you're guaranteed some of the best matches of football you'll ever watch. And yeah, can't wait to give my roundup, which I'll be doing after the final. Might do one after the group stage as well, and then do like a breakdown of what I thought of quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. I'll decide that later on. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below who you think's gonna win the tournament overall, and maybe give me your predictions for who's gonna be Golden Boot and player of the tournament as well. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you next week for another video. Peace.